So welcome back everybody, this is John with SwingFit. In today's video, we are wrapping up the fitting series that we've been doing over the last several weeks. So we truly hope you have been finding value in these little videos that we've been creating. And if you haven't had a chance to go back and watch the videos from earlier weeks, then do yourself a favor. After you get done watching this one, go back and watch the other ones because we actually walk you through the process, start to finish, how to actually find a fitter, how to, prepare for a fitting, what are some of the things you should be thinking about. And then today's video, we're going to close it out with the top 5 tips to help you get the most out of the fitting session. So let's jump in and find out exactly what they are. So before we dive into today's topic, I first off want to welcome you to our channel. You just might want to consider hitting that subscribe button, smash that bell so that way each and every single Monday when we drop our new content, you will receive an alert when we do so. So now let's peel back the layers and let's talk about those top 5 tips, with the first one being have an open mind, all right? And what I'm talking about is leaving those preconceived notions at the door. And the 2 most popular notions that we see day in and day out, and something that we truly wish we can get rid of, is none other than shaft flex and brands. I mean, the reality of having a bag full of Mizuno, right? It's not that very common, especially, for stuff that we do day in and day out. I can almost count on one hand how many times I actually had a customer leave with all 14 clubs, minus maybe the putter, that it was all one flavor. And here's what I tell my customers is be open to having a bag of Skittles. Give me free reign to try different things. And I promise you, the 14 clubs that we do put in your bag will actually be the best 14 weapons that matches up to how you play the game. Now, in regards to the flex conversation, I'm talking about the golf shafts now, right? You know what? And yes, we have some shaft manufacturers now that's really listened to some of the feedback from the fitting community because it's that big of a concern and topic. Because we do know that certain customers, first thing they look at when they look at a golf shaft is, what is that stamp on? Is it an S, an R, an X? And companies such as like VA here, right? They've removed the S and the R and the X from that golf shaft, and that's really been a godsend for us because it allows us to remove that piece from the conversation. Because honestly, we don't put a lot of stock into what's actually stamped on a golf shaft because we know that there's other important characteristics that we do need to be mindful of, such as the overall bend profile of a shaft. I'm talking about what is the stiffness rating from butt to tip. How soft a shaft is in the midsection versus the butt versus the tip end of the section. That's much more important than just the overall stiffness profile of a golf shaft. And heck, truth be told, how one company measures a golf shaft stiffness rating versus that of another can be that vastly different. And what one company's stiff could potentially be another company's R. And that's why we don't put a lot of stock into it. So guys, definitely, let's leave the flex conversation at the door, and you just might be surprised of how better that golf shaft feels. Now, checking in at number 2, and hands down probably the easiest of the 5 tips to follow, is please make sure you bring the right shoes to your fitting session. And we've seen a lot of crazy things throughout the years. I've done fittings where customers forgot their shoes, didn't have clean socks, and they actually did the fitting session in their bare feet, right? I've had customers that's coming from all walks of life. I'm talking doctors, lawyers, people in law enforcement, in the military, and even construction workers, and people working into, on those farms and in the fields and stuff will bring their everyday work shoes and try to do a fitting session in that. And my question in response to that will be you would never consider playing around a golf in those type of shoes, so why would you think that it would be any different when you come into a fitting studio? So do yourself a favor, put an extra pair of sneakers in your car the night before, a clean pair of golf shoes, so this way you can actually get the most out of the fitting process and it doesn't become one of these variables that we are not able to check off the list. Now, if the last one was the easiest to follow, this one is probably definitely the most overlooked, and that is please make sure that you ask a lot of questions during the fitting process. This is really just gives that fitter the feedback that we need to make sure that you're understanding what's going on during the fitting process. You know, our number one goal for any of our customers is that we truly want them to leave with more knowledge and information than they did before they walked through our doors. So this way we can make sure that not only do you understand why we're doing certain things and why a certain combination works best for you, but we also want you to learn a little bit more about what the golf ball is doing once it leaves the club face, because it's this connection that we truly believe is going to allow you to be a better golfer, because you're going to have that awareness and understanding of what really is happening. But the only way you're going to get there is if you ask questions and create that two-way conversation. And there's no disputing, if asking questions is on the list, then this one is sure to follow, and that is, please make sure you provide feedback. And I'm talking about from start to finish. Please make sure you're providing feedback to your fitter on how a club feels in your hands. If it feels too heavy, please make sure you share that. If a club feels too soft, too stiff, feels like you have to actually swing hard just in order to keep the ball in play, then please make sure you share that critical feedback with your fitter, because if it's going to be like work, then that's not something that you're going to definitely want to take to the golf course. As an example, if a club is too heavy and you find yourself getting tired after just 10 or 15 swings, imagine what you would feel like if you took that to the golf course and you try to play 18 holes with that golf club. So once again, you got to make sure that you share that critical feedback with your fitter, because although the results may be looking pretty good, that may not be something that we'll be able to sustain long term, and we need to continue looking until we find something that just fits like a glove. Now, closing out our top 5 tips to help you get the most out of the fitting process is this one right here, and it's do not react. And I mean, do not react to the projected image that's sitting over my shoulder. And we see it day in and day out. And the reason why we left this for last is because this one has the greatest potential to derail a fit quicker than anything else. And we know that our natural instinct is to respond to what we are seeing. You know, that's how we are wired. We are wired to try to change the outcome of a result. You know, and depending on what we are seeing, whether it's in the real world or on a projected image, you know, we may feel the need to alter our swing from shot to shot. And here, if you do that, you could potentially be taking the fitter down a path that will lead to a solution of creating something for a golf swing that may not be considered to be your everyday golf swing. And that's why our best piece of advice here is just show us your stock vanilla swing, something you take to the golf course every single day, and try not to change or influence the swing based off of what you're seeing on the projected screen. So guys, we truly hope you found value in this information we shared with you today. If you did, do us a favor. Smash that thumbs up. Let us know by leaving any comments or remarks below. And if you didn't get a chance to check any of our other videos out in this fitting series, then we're going to leave a couple iCards here so that way you can get caught up. So thanks again, and stay tuned for next week.